You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. I have a huge question for you. Is Michael Corinthos going to tattle on Nina, or is he going to blackmail her instead? So on the Friday, October 13th episode, I saw one or two recaps falsely saying that the SEC contact said Nina Reeves' name. We don't know if the guy said Nina's name. We do know that the guy said Martin Gray's name, and then Michael pressed him for more info, but we don't know yet if he has said Nina's name out loud to Michael. All we know is that he was glaring at her during the wedding reception, so everybody assumed that he did. I'm not one to assume that quickly because I know how General Hospital operates. They like to edit things together very carefully to make things look more dramatic or to make things look like they're going left when they're going right. If you are a longtime GH watcher, you should know how they do things and how tricky they can be. So I am going to wait until I hear Michael hear her name before I'm ready to say it's definitely going that way right now. But do I think it's happening soon? Absolutely. So here's the question, okay? Will Michael shout it from the rooftops, or will he try and leverage Nina for some payback? And when you hear these scenarios, you may want to think about them along with me as options for what he may do. And I have some official spoilers to back this up. But hey, if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our General Hospital updates. So there's a pretty reliable source who leaked a bunch of spoilers, and I think every single one has come true that has come out so far. Like there was 6 or 8 on the list, and like 3 or 4 of the things have already happened, and she was spot on. So what this leaker said was that Michael only gets Martin Gray's name for now. Again, that's a leaker. I'm sure we're going to know more on Monday because there's a spoiler for Monday, October 16th. It says Michael plays dirty. And then there's another spoiler for the week of October 23rd through 27th that says Michael struggles with a decision. So it definitely sounds like he'll have a name by then, if not sooner. So I am just wondering, presuming Michael gets this info and he seems destined to, what will he do? But as of Friday, we didn't hear, as viewers, the SEC guy say Nina. We didn't. Everybody's assuming that's what he heard. We don't know for sure. So even if they only told him Martin's name and said they don't know who it is, it's a very short drive from Martin to Nina because Mr. Gray only has 2 Port Charles clients that we've ever seen, Nina and Valentine. So I want to talk about what Michael would do, assuming that he does get her name, which I believe he absolutely will, and soon. And once he knows she dropped a dime on his mom and Drew to the stock cops, what's Michael going to do? I've got 5 quick options to discuss with you on how I think this may play out. So the first thing Michael could do is he could make a beeline for his dad, Sonny Corinthos, and just tell him what he found out, knowing that his father will be furious and will dump Nina Reeves, presuming he believes it, right? Because Sonny definitely has a huge soft spot for Nina and a huge blind spot where Nina is concerned. On the other hand, though, Michael might not want his mom back with his dad. Michael may think that his mother's better off with Drew. And if Nina is out of the picture, if Nina and Sonny break up, then Michael may assume Sonny and Carly could reconcile, and maybe Michael think that's a bad idea. So maybe he won't immediately rat her out, and maybe he'll explore an option kind of like these others I have for you. Number 2, Michael could blackmail Nina and tell her to give his mom her half of the Metro Court Hotel back, or he will tell Sonny what she did. So Michael may want to get back some of what his mom lost, and that may be enough, if he knows his mom is safe, secure, and has the hotel back that she loves. Maybe he would just leave Nina and Sonny to be together, but knowing he always has control over Nina by keeping this piece of information out of Sonny's ear. So Michael may play super dirty and decides he wants to control his evil stepmother. That's an option. The third option is that Michael could demand that Nina give back her half of the hotel and pay his mom's $5 million SEC fine. If you remember, Carly was going to sell the house she got in the divorce from Sonny to cover the fine, but that sale never manifested and she's still living there. And I haven't heard anything else about that fine, and I can't recall anyone saying that it was ever paid. I'm like searching my brain. I did a little Google search and I'm just not seeing anything about it being paid. But if you guys remember that it was paid, definitely drop it in the comments. So Michael could demand that Nina basically go back and clean up after Carly, after the mess that he is blaming Nina for. Mind you, and I just want to remind you guys of this, Carly losing her half of the hotel was totally on her and had nothing to do with Nina. If you recall, Carly sold her half of the hotel to an investment company so she would have a bunch of cash to buy stock to try and make a big score on the merger. And then the merger fell through and she lost a whole pile of money, and the investment company that she sold the hotel to got to keep it because she couldn't repay because she lost all the cash. And that's when Nina bought the half of the hotel from them. And that, mind you, happened months and months before Nina called the SEC on them. Okay. Despite it not actually being Nina's fault that Carly lost the hotel, Michael may still demand both of these things: give my mom back her half the hotel and pay her fine from his new stepmother. And Nina might want to tread carefully. I mean, Mikey's already bludgeoned one of his stepmothers to death. You guys remember what he did to Claudia Zakara by any chance? All right. The fourth option, Michael may go to Nina and say, leave town tomorrow. Pack your bags and go. Sell me my mom's half of the hotel and just go. Leave a note that says, I can't do this, and never, ever come back to Port Charles, or else I will tell my father and mother and they will both hate you. They will come at you for revenge and they will rip your life apart. And then you'll wish you'd left town when I told you to. So Michael just may want to get rid of Nina completely so that she doesn't have an opportunity to try and talk Sonny into forgiving her, and so that Willow doesn't have to deal with her anymore and she'll be out of Wiley's life too. So I do doubt she would go, even if he offered it that option, but it's something I could see Michael telling her to do. Just hit the road and never come back. And number 5, last but not least, Michael may keep it zipped for just a little while and instead talk to Willow Tate about what he should do first, because this affects her life in a huge way too. That's her mother who called the SEC on his mother and Drew, and Willow loves Drew and Carly both. Willow has been letting Nina into her life little by little, but Michael knows finding this out will be a deal breaker for his wife. And he still may want to get her buy-in though on how and when and if he should expose Nina, and whether he should try and run her off or run her dirty linens up the flagpole for everybody in Port Charles to see. I'm actually very excited to see when this kicks off and what Michael does, whether he acts rashly and lashes out immediately, or whether he sits on the info and comes up with a payback plan, a revenge plan, something that he thinks is, deserving of what she has done to his mother. Just by the way, November Sweeps kicks off on October 26th. And that week is the week for the spoiler saying Michael faces a tough decision. So this may be how they kick off sweeps, and it's a month of payback, retribution, name-calling, and fury in Port Chuck. We'll find out more as soon as we see Monday's episode roll around and we find out if Michael indeed does hear a name other than Martin Gray from the SEC contact. As of Friday, Martin's name was the only one that all of us watching heard. So it does sound to me like Nina's time is just about up, but she might get a couple of days of marital bliss before the honeymoon is really over. We'll just have to wait and see. Thanks for listening. Drop your comments below. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely click a like if you enjoyed this chat about what Michael Corinthos may do to punish his wicked stepmother. Be sure and come back often to check out our General Hospital videos. I love talking GH soaps with you guys. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.